What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Hockeytown University. You are here with me once again, your host, Zach, and you're here with my lovely co-host once again, Derek. It's Leslie's birthday today, so he gets the night off. Congratulations. Happy birthday, buddy. Derek, what's up with you? How's your week going, dude?
Same old crap, different day. Love working all day long just to come back here and talk hockey because that's honestly what I look forward to at the end of the day. It's a lot better than the rest of the world. But, of course, Leslie, happy birthday, buddy. Way to be 117 years old today. Good to know. Never knew that about you. And I also want to give a little shout out here because we actually had our first little donor to the podcast. It was my nanny. She's just a wonderful person. She loves us so much. Shout out to you, Nanny. You're the best out there. We love you.
We love you, Nanny. Leslie, had no idea you were turning 117, and I'm glad that you finally came out and told everyone that you are older than I am. I am no longer the oldest one on the pod. But as always, thanks for joining us, everyone. Once again, for those of you that are returning, for those of you that are new, thanks for joining us. As always, hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. For those of you returning, you know the drill. Smash the like button. Also, if you don't already have the notification bell on, that allows you to know when we drop these new episodes. But if you are returning, you already know that those drop on Mondays and Thursdays, depending on when you watch them. But
or if you're I just get a text from Zach.
Or you get a text from me, just to let you guys know. But, Derek, I wanted to start off this episode by asking you, were you a mouthguard chewer when you were in hockey?
I tried the most I could to not have my mouth guard in at all. but that explains why I don't have a few of my teeth. But, I hated a mouth guard. I didn't want it in my mouth. The only time I did was when I got yelled at by a ref that put my mouth guard in. I'm like, okay.
Not even by your coach. Not even by the coach, just by the ref. You want your chiclets out, bud? Yeah. Put it back in. So you weren't a chewer then. You just never wore one.
Nah, not really.
Oh my god. Okay. I only asked because Mickey Redmond and Ken Daniels went on about how like Tkachuk and Edvinnson like chew on theirs like it's gum, and they showed them like side by side of them doing, and it was like, I gotta ask Derek this question.
Dude, I've seen some gnarly looking mouth guards in my day where those things are just completely flattened out. It's like, that's not supposed to look like that, buddy. I hope you wear a mouth guard at night, because damn.
They still say that it tastes like juicy fruit bubblegum, though, even after all that chewing.
I usually kept mine inside my glove, though, after the games and after practices. So I can tell you right now, it did not taste like juicy fruit.
Oh, man. Yeah, I bet. Well,
yeah, okay. We didn't care about cleanliness then.
Thanks for that little added connotation to it, Derek. Well, let's go ahead and continue on with this episode, and let's just go ahead and talk about some Red Wings news. Red Wings today announced that they did sign Jon McDonald, a left-handed defenseman. He's 24 years old, out of UMass Lowell, had 20 points in 35 games this season. To be honest with you guys, no idea why they signed him. Derek, you got any idea, buddy?
Another left-handed D. Why not? Apparently the Red Wings are just in love with him right now. We already got 5 on the line with the Red Wings. Why not just toss another one in there?
I heard
based on a new lefty.
I heard based on recent episodes that we aired that left-handed D are hot commodities in the league, eh, buddy?
No. Apparently not.
Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah, like I said, I really don't know why this was signing. On Eliteprospects, it says they now plays for Toledo Walleye, so I guess just assuming that Walleye needed bodies. So good for him. At least he got a contract. That's good to see. 20 points, that's pretty good. Overager, though, in the NCAA, 24. But good on him. Hopefully he can make something out of it. In other news, Redmond Savage enters the transfer portal, going from Miami University, Ohio, to Michigan State University. Redmond Savage was a 2021 draft pick in the 4th round, 114th overall. He's currently 19 years old, 5'11", 181 pounds. Redmond Savage, like I said, with the Miami University of Ohio this season in 32 games, has 14 points, 7 goals, 7 assists, and in his 67 games, he has 30 points total. This is someone who has played with the USA U20 team for the last 2 years. He was the captain for the USA U18 team in 2021. He had 1 goal in 5 games, just 1 point. But in the U20s in 12 games, he has 9 points, so pretty good there. He knows how to keep up with his age level of talent, at least, so that's good to see. Pretty much just the name excites people that hopefully he's a Savage, and the fact that his name is Red. So that's pretty much all I know about this guy. What, Derek?
Maybe we'll see some blood out there on the ice. I don't know. That's all I get from his name.
Other than that, though, yeah, it is pretty nice to see that he is getting closer to the organization. Not that Ohio's that far away, but at least he's in the home state with the Red Wings, so they'll be able to keep a closer eye on him. And I'm assuming that he's probably going to get a better opportunity and probably a better look with Michigan State. You know, the talent, I'm assuming, is probably a little bit better. Not sure what division that Miami plays out of. Maybe you would know, Derek, but I certainly don't. Nope.
Yeah, you got me there.
All right. Well, someone knows. Leave it in the comments. We always appreciate it when you guys let us know things in the comments. It's always appreciated. Helps us create more content. Also, Eliteprospects came out with a YouTube video going over the top prospects to watch, and Shai Buium was on the list. And for those of you that pay attention to Leslie and his wealth of knowledge on Red Wings, Shai Buium also plays for the University of Denver with his boy Carter Mazur. Shai Buium, in the 37 games that he's played so far this season, he's got 21 points, 4 goals, 17 assists. He was drafted in 2021 as well in the 2nd round, 36th overall. 19 years old, like I said, 6'3", 220 pounds. I remember when this kid got drafted that this was kind of a project pick. This kid has very much raw talent that needs to further develop, like I said. This kid came from a background where he's a defenseman. He's a left-handed defenseman. So, yeah, sorry, I didn't mention that. So he shoots left. He's a defenseman.
Makes a lot more sense. I'm like, that's a giant child. I want to know where he's playing.
Yeah, left D. So add that to the cupboard as well, you know, more left-handed D. But yeah, he won the championship with University of Denver last year with Carter Mazur in their first year. He put up 18 points in 39 games that season. So his point production is up. He's going into the tournament again this year. Like I said, he's one of the top prospects to watch. I did watch the video. It said that this guy, you know, he still has a shot. He's just really good with the puck. When I watched the video, it kind of gave me Jake Wallman vibes, the way that he's able to just kind of deke around players, do a little like head fake, get around them, and then be able to make that extra pass to create that scoring opportunity for the next guy to finish it off. Derek, I know you probably don't know too much about Shai Buium, so he's a left-handed defenseman. Hopefully he can make it up into the NHL roster eventually someday. So,
hey, he might make the Red Wings. We like those left-handed Ds.
Commodities.
Yummy.
So that's all I got for Red Wings news. If you guys got anything that I missed, you know, also leave it down in the comments. It really is appreciated. Some other fun little tidbits. Ken Daniels mentioned Zetterberg in the house again and how he has a new business venture in Detroit and that it's like pickleball on steroids. So you got to be really athletic to be into it. Have you ever played pickleball, Derek?
Is that like the miniature tennis game where they play
Ping pong, tennis?
Yeah, like ping pong and tennis put together. Yeah, I played that.
4-square tetherball type of game. Yeah, it's like 4 sports.
It's like 20 things put into one, yeah. Is it going to be like intense pickleball or is it just pickleball?
No, they mentioned that it's like intense, hence like they said pickleball on steroids, and then mentioned like towards the end of that saying like, yeah, you should probably be a little more athletic if you want to try it out. So I'm assuming something like hot yoga pickleball. So like it's really hot inside, it's 120 degrees, and you're playing with a bunch of smelly old people.
I mean, I don't want to play with the old people. They're probably going to die. Sorry.
We
I don't want that on my hands.
We love the elderly here. We do. So, around the league news, on March 21st, the NHL came out saying that they have agreed on a contract with Fanatics starting in 2024-2025 season for the next 10 years, switching over from Adidas for their hockey jerseys. Derek, I don't know if you know too much about Fanatics jerseys, but let me tell you, they blow, dude. They are really, really bad.
I kept not been able to get away from it today on every social media platform with hockey on it. It's just the greatest jokes about what Nike looks like for the NFL, the NBA, the whatever the National Baseball League is. Oh, NBA. Oh, I'm gonna ignore that part.
MLB?
Yeah, thank you. I was like, brain fart. But yeah, but then we just always see like Fanatics NHL, just like a little dumb person over in the corner. I'm like, yep. That explains it very well. It's just then I see like the actual pictures of what they looked like too, and I was like, no, please, no. Or it almost looks like skinny jeans for like jerseys, but
yeah,
poor quality.
No, yeah, and that's what it is overall quality. So Adidas signed a 7-year deal with the NHL beginning in 2017-18 season and announced in July 2022 that it was not seeking an extension. So 5 years into their 7-year deal, they're already announcing that they don't want to sign another deal with the NHL. Is it the NHL or is it Adidas, do you think, Derek? Which party really just doesn't want to work with the other, or do you think it's possibly both? Because I don't have a problem with the Adidas jerseys. I just got one, the retro reverse one for Detroit with cider on it, and I wore it to the game. I liked it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. So I got to ask you the question, I guess. As a hockey player, a former hockey player, do you think that there's really going to be that huge of a difference between the jerseys that's going to affect the players?
My guess at their level, because back in my day, let me tell you, no one cared at all what your jersey felt like for you. It was probably going to be the cheapest thing that your school or your team could buy for you at the time. So you weren't getting anything. I've had one nice set of jerseys, and let me tell you, when they call it a sweater, it was because it was a freaking sweater. You died in that thing. It was so heavy. It looked beautiful, but oh my god, you would just die in it. It wasn't anything. But yeah, like at this level in the NHL, it really isn't going to matter who you're probably going with, because you're probably going to get the same high-end quality, because they're not going to be giving out like what we go to the store to buy. They're going to have top-of-the-line brands that would cost us like $200, $300 still to buy outside. That's what their jersey is going to be, so it really won't matter too much.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see what the deal is. I know that it's a 10-year agreement, like I said, with Fanatics, but I wanted to see how much it was, because the only other thing I can think of, right, is that the NHL is just looking for it as, like, a way to make more money.
You save a penny here or there, like, maybe, but at the same time, is it really that big of a deal? Is the NHL hurting that bad for money? Because it doesn't look like it.
No, I mean, the revenue is up. It's been up for the last 2 years, so that's why I'm curious as to, what could be the main reason as to why. What was it before Adidas? Was it Nike? I think, or whoever it was, or Reebok. I think it was Reebok. I have a Reebok one as well, and that one was just fine as well. I love how Derek's just looking through his jersey right now.
Reebok, yep.
Reebok, yeah. So Reebok was fine too. Derek loves his, as he wears his every single episode.
I wore this to the game too. I really wish I saw Yikes there, because I would have had him sign it.
So there you go. So if anyone also has any information on that a little bit more, I'd love to hear more about it down in the comment section. Please let me know. So, Bleacher Report came out with an article today on March 22nd. It is 7:45 p.m. currently as we record. They came out with an article today. The title of it, Early Free Agency Predictions for Every NHL Team. And it says that the Detroit Red Wings signed Alex Killorn of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'll actually read what it says in this article once I get down to the spot, because it does break it down based on every division. So here it says, Detroit Red Wings signed Alex Killorn, the pressure is going to be on general manager Steve Yzerman to get this team into the playoffs, or at least closer than it has been, and that could mean another busy year in the free agent market. One of Yzerman's former core players in Tampa, Alex Killorn, could be in an ideal fit for a team that needs more good players with winning experience. At 33, Killorn is not exactly young by NHL standards, but he can still produce and would bring a lot of to a team like Detroit. Jesus, sorry guys, I can't read today, obviously. So
you got this, buddy.
I guess I'm 117. I need glasses myself. But let's go ahead and just take a look at his stats. I mean, let's just go ahead and talk about this season. In 72 games so far, Alex Killorn has 22 goals, 32 assists for 54 points. He's on pace for 61 points in 82 games, so he's playing a full, healthy season. He played a full, healthy season last year as well, so that's nice to see. He put up 59 points in 21-22. Before these two seasons, he never broke 50 points, so he's always been like in the 40 to 30 point guy. Like I said, or I guess I didn't say it, but I will say this. He's 33 years old, 6'1", 196 pounds. He's a left winger, can also play right, I think. Shoots left, comes in at $4.45 million. What do you think about this if Steve Yzerman did go out and get himself an Alex Killorn, someone who has won 2 Stanley Cups? He's been to the Cup final more times than that. 33 years old, so probably good locker room guy, another veteran, kind of like a David Perron. Maybe you give him a 2-year deal. What would you think about doing something like that, Derek?
I would definitely think about it, because at the same time, he would definitely be a good addition to the team, a valued player, someone who has experience, someone who's been to the Cup, won the Cup, continuously goes to the finals to win. He's been with Yzerman for most of that rebuild over there, so they have a tight niche there too, which is, I guess, a good thing? Could be bad, I don't know. That's more like weird politics within hockey. But his score, he's honestly doing a lot better than what he has been the last few years, especially those last 2, like you said. He's breaking 50 points. He's only kind of been just going up and up and up ever since that, he started with Tampa. He started in the low 30s, got up in the 40s, dropped down a little bit, shot back up, had one off season, but it looks like he was probably injured because he only played about 56 games that year. So that's still pretty on pace for if he played a full healthy season to break 50 again. And now it's looking like he's going to break 60 this year. So is his old age increasing his play? I mean, at this age, like you said, a 2-year deal probably be the best thing just to see what he can do. Then, maybe after that, see what he's feeling, because you definitely have to see what you're going to be doing at 35 years old in the NHL. But, I mean, as he's been playing right now, he's doing well, because I can definitely see on my fantasy team right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points last 6 games. Not doing terrible, I would say. Not high-end points every game, but he's definitely a guy you can rely on in the back. Maybe on a third line, definitely push it up a little bit. I think he could be a good addition as long as you don't care that you have 2 old guys like Panarin and him on the team. He's got to look past that one.
When did we get Panarin? I know you meant Perron.
Perron. I said it out loud. I was like, that didn't sound right, but Zach didn't correct me. Thanks for correcting me.
You're welcome. It's okay. I still love you, buddy. But no, I agree with you. That was kind of one of my first things too. It was like, okay, so we have a Perron who's 34 years old. He's pretty much the team dad. If you get Alex Killorn, that's pretty much another team dad. And I know that, or I shouldn't say I know, based on what we've seen, based on free agency signings, or at least in trades as well, Yzerman likes to go after players that have gone in these long playoff runs or have won cups. So you got Perron. I don't think Kubalik has gone in a deep playoff run. Neither has Suter. Fabry has with St. Louis. Andrew Kopp has with Winnipeg and New York. There's another player on here that I can't think of. Ben Sherratt. Yeah. So there's a couple players on here, and then bringing him on, like you said, the 2-year deal, I would do a 2-year deal. It would probably come in around David Perron, in his current contract, Alex Killorn's current contract, like I said, that comes in at 4.45. If you can get him for around 4 for 2 years, each year is $4 million. I think that's a good deal. Third line. You can have him on the second power play unit. I think he plays power or penalty kill as well. So that's a good addition. One thing that really stands out to me, Derek, and you're probably not looking at this, but on Cap Friendly, it tells you their total NHL stats based on points. And 795 regular season games, he has 456 points, 193 goals, 263 assists. The one thing that catches my eye, though, is his playoffs. 134 games, 72 points. He's over half a point game player in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, too. That's going against the best of the best. So I like to see, I like hearing that. That means there's like some good rawness in there somewhere.
The only one downside though is that last season when they went to the Stanley Cup final for the third year in a row, he only put up 4 points in the 23 games that they played. But in the 2 seasons before that, when they won back to back, he put up 27 in 43 games. That's pretty damn good, if you ask me, especially for someone when he was 30 years old at that time. You're on the back end of your prime at that point. Granted, as well, you got to look at the players that he plays around. So, do you think a 33, 34-year-old Killorn can translate what he does with a loaded Tampa Bay team with a Detroit Red Wings team? I don't know.
Is it the risk he wants to take? Is it the Yikes plan? We don't know.
Now, like we mentioned in the last episode too, I believe that we did, free agency pool does not really look that good this offseason. It's very gross. It's very
shallow.
Yeah, it is. And you're getting a lot of old players. You're not getting top-tier talent. You're not getting a Panarin. You're not getting a Johnny Ham and Cheese, Johnny Gaudreau. You're getting Alex Killorn. And so the only reason why I can see Steve Yzerman going after Alex Killorn is because he is familiar of him and he knows what he brings to the team. So maybe there's something that Yzerman can work out a deal with him. Maybe he can bring him in for 3.5 for 2 years. Get him in on a good deal, see what he can do. That's even if Alex Killorn wants to go away from Tampa Bay. Maybe he stays there forever. Who knows?
Maybe Yzerman's already talked to him a little bit. We don't know. They've had a lot of relationships, so really depends on what happened.
The world may never know. Like that one commercial with the lollipops.
Oh, we'll know in like 3 months, so.
Well, enough about that. Let's recap the games that have happened so far this week. So, on Monday, the Red Wings played against the Florida Panthers, losing 5-2 with Husso and Knott. You got goals from Suter and Larkin, but we're down 3-1 by the time that Larkin scored in the third, and Panthers took over from there, thus creating it 5-2. But in those first 2 periods, the Red Wings kept up with them for the most part. The one thing that I really liked was the fact that Simon Edvinnson looked hella better than he did when we watched him play against the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah. It kind of looked like he belonged out there for once. A little more comfortable, I would say, especially after that first game jitters against the, again, reigning Stanley Cup champions. Welcome to your first game in NHL. Do well.
And some other podcasts like Locked On, Winged Wheel, those podcasts, they talked about how it's good that you did that to him because it puts him in that situation where you're like, you want to be in this league? Well, this is the talent that you're going to play against night in and night out. If you want to be a top player, go against this team right now and see what it's like to be a top team and a top player. And granted, like I said, when we watched him at Colorado, it didn't look like that he was moving his feet all a lot. When I watched the game on TV, it was the same thing, but his reach, Derek, I mean, it was like watching Seider all over again when he came into the league last year, where Seider just has that long reach, that big stick, and is just able to poke everyone, stick lift everyone, and just get around everyone. Edvinnson does the exact same thing. He did that to Tkachuk behind the net at the end of the first, pushing him down, keeping him down on the ice. And it was funny, too, because Carly Johnson asked him today what Tkachuk had to say to him towards the end of the first period. And Simon Edvinnson goes, he said funny words, and he can't repeat on camera. So I'm glad to see that Edvinnson has jokes, even though he's currently injured now. We'll get into that later because he took a little hit from Gudas. But no, I thought Edvinnson was basically like the huge bright spot in this game, and I'll continue on with some other stuff. But I want to hear from you. What do you thought about Edvinnson when you watched the game on Monday against the Panthers?
Well, I can definitely say that he moved his feet a little bit better than he did the game we watched against Colorado. And you're not wrong. His reach is just unfathomable. It's even more than Seider's was, which is ridiculous. So I understand why he was probably relying on that quite a bit, especially in the lower leagues. But once you get up to the NHL, he realized real quick that there's players that can easily deke around your little poke checks here. Even if you have that massive span, like, they'll get around you still. It doesn't really matter nowadays. You got to use that body that he has. He has to move his feet a little bit more. I mean, I believe he can do it, too, because what we saw against Florida, obviously, second game in, slowly progressing through. I mean, it's a good thing to see that he did a lot better on, too. So I'd say he's slowly progressing, and as long as it keeps that momentum going, minus the fact that he's hurt, he should become a good player for our team. Hopefully another Mo.
Yeah, and
bigger.
No, and the same thing was the case for Michael Rasmussen. I remember when he joined the Red Wings, that weird situation where it was either he goes back to juniors or he just plays with the Red Wings. Well, it was better for him to play with the Red Wings because he had nothing left to prove in the juniors. And it was the same thing with Rasmussen. He was almost too big for, his skill didn't follow with the way that he was growing, and so he didn't know how to use his body properly. And I think that's kind of the same case for Edvinnson. And while he might have always been 6'6" or however tall he is, but he's still gaining weight along the way, and he has to figure out how to use that weight properly. And like you said, Derek, he's got to learn how to utilize his body. He did that with Tkachuk behind the net, like we said. He drew 2 penalties against the Panthers on Monday, too. So he's getting to those players. Those players are drawing penalties on him. So he looked better. He did look a lot better, but I would still like to see him move his skates a little bit more. I think he needs to be a little bit more fluent in his skating because, like you said, the poke checks aren't always going to help you. And we know this from NHL 23, that poke checking will not save you. And granted, I know this is real life and not a video game, but...
23? Nope. Game over.
Yeah. So, and he'll figure it out. I really do think that he'll figure it out. So I'm not too worried about that. But like I said, I do think that was probably the only bright spot about the game. But continuing on with the game, after the second goal, the lone goes for a coach's challenge for goaltender interference. I don't know if you remember seeing that one, Derek. But they ended up losing the challenge, and then to put the Wings on the penalty kill. It was just a really bad challenge. I really don't know what he was thinking there. There might have been a little bit of... I can't remember who the opposing player was. He kind of touched Husso in the glove, but I didn't see anything there. And I guess real quick, do you even like the coach's challenge?
In a sense, I do. It does give you a strategic advantage in certain situations, like when the other team scores a goal, but they're offsides, or there's a penalty that should have been drawn, or interference, which obviously shouldn't be a goal if the goalie's actually getting knocked out of the way for the puck to go in. But I hate the fact that if you get it, you get it taken away, you just hurt your team. I've seen it happen too many times now in the NHL where, you went on the penalty now, and, guess who got another goal? It's is that really helping you out? But at the same time, I think that's just the risk you take in trying to overturn a goal. So, all in all, I don't hate it. Kind of matches up a lot of other sports too, like football. You get a little challenge too, a little extra zhuzh up in there. So why not? I don't think it's a bad thing for the league.
I love it. Yeah, no, I agree with you. The whole offsides thing, and it's just funny because like you look at other sports, like in soccer, they have the goal line technology. So like, why can't they just utilize that for the offsides? Just like go back, look at the camera. Use the technology, shows the player offsides. Okay, cool. Call the goal back. You don't need to spend all this time looking at a video with a screen that's like this big, trying to look and see if the player's skate was off. And it's just the league is very much a gray area with its rules. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But I agree with you. Certain situations, I think it's good, but in other cases, it really does slow down the game, and that's something that I think hockey does not need. It needs to be faster.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So, like I said before, Simon Edvinnson took a big hip check from Radko Gudas right before having a possible scoring opportunity, but did manage to return and finish out the game. However, going into that, for last night's game against St. Louis, Edvinnson did not end up playing, and he's still undecided about playing for Thursday's night's game against St. Louis again. So, overall, like I said, Edvinnson seemed like he was the only bright spot of the game. He played 14 minutes time on ice. Raymond and Mata had some really bad giveaways. They gave up the first couple goals pretty much. That added to the Red Wings' shortcomings. Mata finished a -4, and Johnny Burgers did not play a good game either. He finished -3 that game. So, I get it for Mata, and I kind of get it for Berggren. Berggren, he's never played in the NHL, let alone a full season. He's coming up pretty close to playing a full season with us. He's still a young kid. He's still trying to figure out. It's a lot, especially with the Red Wings. Their last 12 games, their last 12 games of the season, they're playing in 22 days. That's a lot of hockey. And it's tough for someone like that, especially coming from the SHL and then coming from Grand Rapids, So it is what it is, I guess. But Derek, takeaways from the Panthers game? Goods, bads, real quick.
In total, wasn't a total wash of a game. It wasn't terrible. It's just showing us a lot of our weak spots that we have right now, and that's for certain that we have a lot of them. On just all ends of the eyes, it's not just one specific area. We need depth. We need our D to get a little fixed up there. Stop looking at goddamn left-handed D. And we maybe have to do a smidge better in the goalie section. Gotta tinker in there a little bit to see what we can do. I know Husso is doing really well. I want to get a nice tandem going. I don't know if Helbego's going to be the one that we want to take with us, but I just want to see a little more action in that area as well. So there's a lot of things to work on. All in all, not a terrible game. I just don't like how the score ended up.
Yeah, another bad that I will throw out there. I'll be the negative Nancy because I think that now, and I get it. We have 3 key players injured. We have Sherratt, Rasmussen, and Fabry out. I get that, So that's added players that we're missing on this roster. Then you add Bertuzzi, Hronek, and Vrana. I get it. That's 6 whole players. That's two lines if you wanted to make them all forwards. That's 2 lines that you could build from just, so it sucks. I get it, But to be the other Debbie Downer, Ville Husso really didn't look good this game. He made 20 saves out of the 25 shots. He had a 0.8 save percentage. That's garbage. It's bad. Like I said, the first two periods, fine, whatever. It was 3-1. Larkin scored in the third, made it 3-2. But then the Red Wings, like you said, the depth, it's just not here with the Red Wings. We can't keep up with teams like this going down the stretch.
Finish. That's the worst part too. We strive to get back a little bit. You get close, or we tie, or we're winning by a little, and we just let it slip away now. It's a little depressing. And to kind of transition into the game last night against St. Louis, same thing where we trailed pretty much the whole entire game up until the end and the shootout where we won. So it's weird that we can't do it to, well, I guess it's not really weird, and this is kind of expected, but Panthers are obviously probably a better team than the St. Louis Blues, right? If you want to look at the standings, we're compared neck and neck with St. Louis. So yeah, so it's not weird that we trailed and then lost to the Panthers. But I find it weird that we stayed neck and neck with St. Louis and then we win in OT.
To me, I felt like we were the better team the whole entire game versus St. Louis. We won 3-2 in a shootout. Like I said, Lucas Raymond got us the game-winning goal in the shootout. I thought we were overall the better game. But what do you think of seeing Jacob Verana playing against Detroit for his first game ever since being traded?
I knew it was going to be pretty awkward and uncomfortable for everybody. I don't think we parted on great terms from all the comments, all the sayings we've been seeing from Verana. We don't see anything from Stevie on it. He just keeps quiet. But from what Verana tells everybody, it's a little weird and unsettling end to us. But I'm not gonna lie, it was nice to see. I looked up what he was doing. I was seeing all his shots. He's honestly producing high for St. Louis. We're seeing what he can do. I think he had 5 shots of their 22 last night.
Yep.
He's doing what he used to do. He's playing well. He's playing up. He's on St. Louis, so he can't do too much about that with a struggling team like they are. But it was sad to see him. I do want him still on the team, even though we had parting ways. But at the same time, I think he will end up coming back from his little slump here and be able to produce pretty high numbers still. So, weird to see him. Glad he's out there doing well still and playing in the league. But sad to see him on the other side.
Yeah, no, I picked him up in fantasy because I did see him. Well, you look at his stats. I guess I should start off with this. Ever since being traded, he's got 6 points in 7 games before last night's game. That's really good. He had 5 shots, like you said, and they were all good shots. There was not. I don't think there was one bad shot that he had, and it definitely looked like that he was going out there and really wanted to stick it to us. And I guess I should say this as well. So looking at his stat card, he was left off the score sheet. He was a +1, 5 shots on that. He had 1 giveaway. He played almost 17 minutes, and he got almost 3 minutes on the power play for St. Louis. This is literally something that the Red Wings could have utilized, but for whatever reason. And obviously, we don't know the full story yet, but as time keeps going, it sounds like more and more is coming out on the other end. So with Verana and St. Louis, they're saying all this stuff. Like you said, it's not Steve Yzerman. So I don't know if it's Steve Yzerman. Yeah,
you can say
I don't know if Steve Yzerman's tolerance level is just that low that he just does not want to deal with anyone's BS. But it is just. For 7th, and we retained 50% of his cap for this year and next. And he's got 6 points in 7 games, 8 games now. Was this a mistake by Steve Yzerman, or was Steve Yzerman really just over whatever BS that Verana had with him?
Well, that's going to be the key, and we're going to find out real quick in the next year if we made a mistake or not. Because as of right now, if you're if St. Louis only has to pay him half his salary, and you get almost a point per game player, and we lose out on that and have to pay them, it's not a good win. It's not a win-win. It's a lose-win for us, for sure.
And like I said, it all comes down to how much BS does Steve Yzerman really want to put up with, and how much of that was Verana giving to him. It's obviously not enough for St. Louis to care, because they said we'll get over it, whatever the issue is, and we know about it. And we don't care. We'll work with him on that. So how, does Steve Yzerman really just not tolerate any kind of BS? And it sounds like it's a yes to me.
Have you seen his face in interviews? It does paint a pretty picture of what he might be in real life. I don't know. Never met the guy. Don't want to speak badly of him. My favorite player on the Red Wings since I was a baby. So
no, this isn't. Yeah, it's not to speak badly about Steve Yzerman, but it does go to show that I do believe, now looking at it, he's not a perfect human being. And I'm not saying that this is a mistake that he made, but I do think that this really did hurt the team as a whole. But granted, you could also say that to Jacob Verana for whatever he did or whatever was happening, if it truly was an issue regarding to the team. So who knows? And I wonder if St. Louis actually knows the full story, because, you know what, before we get any farther into that, I guess I'll just close it out with this, is that you never know what's talked between the two parties, and it makes me wonder if Steve Yzerman left out some stuff.
I mean,
now
he didn't really have much to work with anyway, so I think there's a lot left out from his end.
Yeah.
And I think probably for specific reasons.
And it doesn't help that he waived him too, and that clearly stated to all the other GMs that like, hey, I guess I just don't want to deal with this guy's or with this guy anymore and what he brings to the table. So if someone else wants him, they can have him for free. If not, then come to me at trade deadline. So, and that's exactly what happened. So let's move on for the rest of the game. So continuing on with the 3-2 shootout win against the St. Louis Blues, the Magnus Hellbergs were in net this game. And let me tell you, Derek, whenever I hear Magnus Hellbergs in net, I think, oh, okay, here comes an L. But you know what? I rewatched the game twice today because I fell asleep on it last night during the third. So I rewatched the third and the whole entire OT and the shootout. Then I rewatched the whole entire game just because I wanted to watch some other parts, like watch out for some players, see what was going on. And to be honest with you, I think Magnus... Oh, yeah. Well, perks of working remote. Let me tell you, I can do my meetings and watch hockey on the side.
Any of that.
But I will say this. My first start of the game, honestly, I think it was Magnus Hellberg. That first period was rough. I will admit that for him. It was rough. But he shined after that. I mean, no goals in the second, no goals in the third, blanked them
Let's
in
just
the
cut
OT.
out the second, though, because there was no shots anyways.
What?
Let's cut out the second period. St. Louis had like 1 or 2 shots anyways. They
Yeah,
were going like 11 shots into the...
Sorry. I don't know why I wasn't following you there. No, but yeah.
Shots.
Yeah, by the time that the second period was over, I think they only had like 11 shots and Detroit had 21. But then by the time that the game was over, they added an extra 10 shots on that. Granted, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, Hellberg wasn't really challenged. 20 shots or 22 shots. He made 20 saves, 909 save percentage. But these are the types of wins I think that you want to see out of your backup goalie, you know? Like, these are important games still. And it's important for these backup goalies to get their time and to get their wins. Granted, it is against St. Louis, but this is where it counts, right?
This is where you usually put your backup goalie in, let him shine a little bit, and the big part was you're right. He pulled after the third. He's pulled together, kept the goals out, and he kept them out even longer through a shootout into a fourth round. That's a hard thing to do for a goalie, especially with players. I mean, I guess again, St. Louis, not high caliber players, but some good players on the team. Like most of them hit the post, hit the tip of his glove, hit the tip of his pad. I mean, there is large chances that they were just a centimeter over one way or another. It would have been a different outcome, and he was there when we needed him.
Him and everyone else on the ice for the Red Wings, they were all in the right places, right times, you know, they come and help out Hellberg, you know. But that's not to take away from Hellberg. He made a lot of really great saves, yeah, a lot of athletic saves, especially in the OT. I thought that's really where he shined because the Red Wings did give up quite a few opportunities where I thought St. Louis could have converted and then they just didn't. I know Jacob Verana had a couple opportunities as well. So like I said, I'm really glad that he wasn't able to get on the score sheet, but let's continue on. Alex Chason, man. Fourth goal, and it's all on power play goals. Keeps on doing the same thing. Larkin got an assist on that as well. Yeah. So he continues doing what he's doing. Can we sign him? Yeah.
Are we signing him, buddy? Was Derek right again?
I would sign him. I would. And then you have to see what he does in the training camp. And then, like, obviously it comes down to, you know, can he beat out some of these younger players that are looking for spots as well? And, you know, I could see in a world where next season when the opening night roster, I could see him on the fourth line, being on the first or second power play, getting some minutes that way. And then eventually if, like, a good young player, like, decides, okay, I'm too good for Grand Rapids, I need to move up, then you can send Alex Chason through waivers and maybe just push him down. But I could see where a team picks him up through waivers as well. So yeah, I would give him a contract. I really would. We've talked about, I think this is our third time talking about it. But I would. He's really good at it, being in that net front presence. I mean, like that goal, like it was almost like he just stuck out his butt. opposite player just bounced off him, and he's right there by himself, and he just tapped it in. The Happy Gilmore style, just tap it
Dude, he
in.
literally has great control of his body. He knows where to move around. He knows how to get away from people, get in front of people. I mean, that's what you want to see, especially as a person who's going to be like literally just camping in front of the net right there. That's what you need to do. And he's also a great screen, as we found out, because we've seen multiple goals go right past the goalie who doesn't even see it.
Yeah. Other than that, though, Philip Zadina got a goal, finally.
Yeah, he did. It's been a while.
I love that man. I love that man. But he is just not... For all of you that are going through the draft right now, don't go through the draft, get drafted, and say that you're looking to fill the nuts with pucks, because that is the ultimate curse. Like what Philip Zadina did to himself, it's all on him.
Was that against Ottawa?
What's that?
Was that against Ottawa he was talking? Because I skipped him in the beginning.
It was either Ottawa or Montreal that skipped him. Yeah, because he was projected to be the 3rd overall pick and dropped all the way to 6th.
I know.
Yeah. So, yeah. We got him. I remember being excited for it. And then my dreams fall. But I will say this. I really do believe that he's kind of... I hate to say this. Like, I want to compare him to Dylan Larkin, not because I think that they're the same players, but I do think that in terms of opportunity, Larkin was never really given a great opportunity. He at least got to play with Henrik Zetterberg for a season. So we had that. Philip Zadina really hasn't had great line mates ever since he's been called up into the NHL. So I feel bad for him still. Do I have high hopes for him still? I do, but they're tempered to where if he doesn't make those expectations, then I'm not going to be like, okay, we need to trade him, like the rest of the fan bases. But I'll be honest with you guys. Yes, I recognize this guy. And it is frustrating watching him sometimes because you see him out there and it looks like he is doing the right stuff, but he just cannot finish. If there's one guy that I could say
there.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, too, you know, if there was one guy that I could pick to have a breakout season to where even if I could just see him get to 15 goals, 40 points, maybe 20 goals, it's this guy, Philip Zadina. He deserves it, and he deserves every goal that he gets, and it's his 3rd this season. Not very many, but he loves it every single time that he does. You could see it on his face. You could see it in his actions after he scores, you know, the joy that he gets from scoring. So I don't know what needs to happen, what management needs to do, but, you know, I just don't think that goal-scoring capability that he had just goes away like that. Something's got to give, and I think eventually it's going to happen, but if it doesn't, I'll give him one more season, and I think it's done for.
That's hurtful to hear, but yeah, you're probably right on that end, because how many years has he been with us?
I'm pretty sure this is like his 5th or 6th season, but he hasn't really played it. It would technically be like his 3rd full season if you want to be real deep and down into it.
Drafted 2018, right?
Sounds familiar.
2018-2019 season?
2018, I believe.
Oh, I'm dumb. I have him pulled up over here still. I forgot that. Ignore me, everybody. Yeah, 2018-2019. Yeah, he only played 9 games. I mean, 3 points, though, in 9 games. But, yeah, it looks like 2021 was his real season. I mean, obviously, 29 games this season. You're not going to ask for too much, but 6 points. I'm going to blame it on the injuries. I'm going to pray it's just that. And next season, he's going to come back healthy and happy. And I'm just going to destroy the back of the net on either Montreal or Ottawa, whoever the heck it was.
That's all we can do, really. There's not much really else that we can talk on it because we just watch the games. So we don't know what goes into it, you know, what he does in his off seasons, you know, but he needs to go find a trainer or something. Dead ass. But continuing on, Lucas Raymond, like I said, once again, sends us home with the shootout winner. Good to see him go out there and finally close one out for the boys because this is someone that I've been kind of hoping that he scores. And the fans keep on riding on him a little bit too. And I kind of feel bad because he is only 20 years old. And this is typical, right? Sophomore slump, 2nd season in the league. Teams know a little bit more about him. Let's be honest. He's not exactly one of the biggest players out on the ice. So I think the goal for Lucas Raymond going into the offseason is gain some weight, some muscle, maybe get a little bit faster. I mean, twice there's 2 moments in the game where he got knocked down. I think one was by Parayko, like early in the game, and then in the OT when Braden Shen did not have a stick, literally just shoves Lucas Raymond off the puck, and he's like, "Okay, this is mine now, and we're just gonna go on the breakaway." I was like, "Dude,
with the baby."
What are you doing?" Yeah. So that's what I want to see Lucas Raymond do in the offseason. Gain a little bit of weight, like even if it's just 10 pounds, my dude. Like maybe get a little bit faster. I think that would help him out a little bit. I think we
got to remember he's 20, so all he can do is basically get better at this point too, and hopefully as he gets bigger, he increases his speed with it. Just doesn't get the bigger right here,
the Phil Kessel look
here. Oh, praise that man.
Hot dogs.
I want to be him. NHL, hot dogs and beer, baby.
So overall, though, the Red Wings pretty much dominated this whole game. 30 shots on net, 54% on the faceoffs. They got 1 power play goal by Chason out of the 3 power plays that they had. They also gave up 3 power plays to the Blues. 13 hits, 13 blocks, 10 giveaways. St. Louis at 22, 46, 3 penalties, 6. Same thing. 20 hits, 15 blocks, 11 giveaways. So, yeah, the Red Wings pretty much dominated the whole entire game. The one thing that I would say, once again, was the highlights. I would say Hellberg looked really good after the first period. I thought that was great. It's good to see that Larkin keeps on continuing to add on the score sheet. He's got 8 points in his last 7, I believe it is. The Red Wings finally broke their losing streak. That was like a 4-game losing streak or something like that. I don't know if Derek wants to confirm that for me. But, overall, Hellberg looked great, and it was good to see that Verana did not get on the score sheet. Derek, overall thoughts about the game?
I mean, like you said, we dominated. We had a few good players out there. I was happy to see Raymond finally put one away, especially a game winner in not overtime, in the shootout there. Not sure how everyone feels about Larkin just doing that straight up slide in for that final shot at the end. It was... Love you, Larkin. I'm not going to judge you on that. Didn't go in. We won. It's okay.
Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Joe Veleno for at least attempting to do the Peter Forsberg move. Sorry, my apologies. I don't know if you remember seeing that where he was like around the goalie and just kind of missed it when he tried to tuck it in. But shout out to you, Joey Veleno. I like the attempt, but probably wasn't the time and place to do that. Just score the goal and try to win the game, buddy. Don't send it in the OT.
That's all we need right now. Not in a shootout. But yeah. But I mean, like you said, Hellberg did great. One of his better games we've seen. Good thing. Like to see a backup goalie doing well, especially on our team. Sad to see Verona on the opposite team as always, but in total, Red Wings did pretty well. I think we, again, as we usually do, played a little bit more down to our opponent's level. Not where we should be, but we still came out with the win. So, as long as it may be messy, but the win's a win.
Win's a win. Win is a win. So, Red Wings' next game, like I said, is tomorrow, but by the time you guys are listening or watching to this, it will already be Thursday, March 23rd. At 7 p.m., they play the St. Louis Blues again. Derek, predictions. What do you want to see out of the game? Expectations. Quickly, go.
I'm going with it. The Red Wings win about 5-1 this game just because I think they had a slump game and they're going to realize that they're playing St. Louis and come out and just destroy them. I'm feeling it in my bones. Wait. Magic Conch. It shall be.
All hail Magic Conch. Derek, go for Bedard.
Bedard!
Okay. So I like to see it. What do you want to see out of the boys, though? Just a little more compete? Just same thing as they did last game?
I want to see a little bit more than they did last game. I want to be able to see them connect a little bit, a lot more around passes, using their bodies a little bit more. I hopefully want to see Edvinnson back in the lineup. We don't know for sure right now. Again, it's 8:25 now on Wednesday. We haven't gotten any updates on that. So, if he's in the game, I'll be very happy. But yeah, just a little bit more playing up to our potential. I want to see some pucks and nets. I want to see some good passing, good moves. I want to see the Red Wings be the Red Wings.
I'm gonna call it to be a 5-3 game. The Red Wings win. Jordan Binnington starts a fight with Husso.
Yes! I forgot he might be in net.
And like you said, yes, I want to see a little more hitting. I want to see a little bit more chaos. I want to see the Red Wings actually try to take control of this game. And I think that that's something that Coach Lalonde can instill into these young players. Not telling them to go out there and be more physical, but telling them, do your role, but also add a little bit more to it. Get a little saucy, get a little spicy out there. Take control of the game.
Take a penalty, it's okay. 1 or 2 of them just because you're aggressive. Why not? For the hockey!
So yeah, the Red Wings play in Joe Louis Arena. My goodness. Little Caesars Arena tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m., March 23rd. And then they also play Saturday, March 25th. I believe. I don't know if this is in Detroit. Oh, we'll figure it out once we get there. So yeah, they play Philadelphia on Saturday, 1 p.m. Derek, expectations on that game? Dub?
I'm going for a dub. If we lose that one, I'm going to be a little upset. The fall apart Philadelphia Flyers, come on. We better win. If not, you're not going to see me on this podcast on Sunday. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be honest. I'll be down in the corner crying. You won't see me.
I'll probably come out with a mini clip by Friday or on Saturday morning before the game, just to kind of give a little news update in case anything happens between now and then. But yeah, I'd like a win, but I want to talk about the standings. So going into the standings and the Red Wings' current schedule, they got 12 more games in 22 days, 6 home, 6 away games. It's looking pretty tough. I mean, once you get out of the game after Philadelphia, I mean, you're going up against Pittsburgh, Carolina, Winnipeg, Toronto. You get to play against Montreal. Buffalo really is trying to get into that wild card spot. Pittsburgh again, Dallas, Carolina, and then you close out with Tampa Bay. So not really an easy stretch. To be honest with you guys, I'll be shocked if the Red Wings get 4 wins out of the next 12 games. Looking at the standings, the Red Wings, after the win, still currently sit at 10th. They're now 3 points ahead of St. Louis. Red Wings have 71. St. Louis has 68. Vancouver has 67. Arizona has 65. And Philadelphia has 64. And Montreal was 62. I'm not going to go any further because I doubt any of these other teams will ever have a chance to catch up. But I still believe that there's a hope that we can get a top 5 pick. Really, I do think that there is an opportunity for us to get that far. I mean, like I said, looking at it as we have a really tough schedule, I mean, these teams, Montreal's on a 1-game win streak, Philadelphia's on a 1-game win streak. Arizona, I'm pretty sure they were on a long winning streak, or Vancouver was on a 4-game winning streak. They just lost last night against Vegas, and it was 4-3. That was very close. So I'm not hoping for us to move down in the standings. Yes, I am. But am I hoping for us to lose every game? No. But it's nice if we do. I know I'm kind of like a mixed ball here, but I want Bedard. Magic Conch.
We all want Bedard. We all want Bedard.
We want Bedard.
But what can you say? I mean, you're probably right. We're only going to win a handful of these games. We're going against some of the best teams in the league. I mean, we saw what we did against Boston. The best team in the league right now. But can we keep pulling that off after the last couple shit shows that we just did? Not really.
Yeah.
So maybe Bedard?
So to close off with that, Derek, before we end, one last question. Here's an update on the players that we traded at the deadline. Vrana, 6 points in 8 games. Bertuzzi, 4 points in 9 games. Hronek has been injured. Go to find out. So he's been day-to-day. He might be coming back on Thursday. I didn't realize that, so news for thought. And then Oscar Sundqvist, 6 points in 8 games. You missed these guys yet?
No. Well,
No.
yeah, double, yeah. Yes, I do, in total. I miss a couple of them. But at the same time, it's the end of the season. You have a few players that are on big teams that are trying to make big runs. They're surrounded by new players that are better. And just in general, that have a better circulation on their team, playing together longer, or helpful, be able to help you out score points. Did we make the right move? I don't know. I'm just holding on to the Yikes plan, man. That's all I'm holding on to, and if that collapses, I will collapse. So, go Yikes plan. I'm praying it's right.
You and everyone else, man. That's all we got is just keep holding on to the Iser plan. So, that's all we got. So, to close it out here, final thoughts, Derek.
So, I got not much left, Go Red Wings. Hopefully, we see how this season goes. I know playoff push isn't really there anymore, but at the same time, I do not want to just see us turn over and go belly up and just get blown out by every team. Though it would be nice for a Bernard. But I digress. Go Red Wings. Let's win the next few games. Make us look good. Zach, back to you in the office there.
Derek took all the words out of my mouth. Go Red Wings. Let's get Bedard. Any chance that we can get, we'll take it. So, to finish off here, folks, we want to thank you again for joining us. For those of you that are returning, for those of you that are new joining us, thank you once again for joining us. If you very much would, just hit that subscribe button. It's right there. It really does help us out. Also, smash the like button. Turn on the notification bell. We know you like to hear the noise once it goes off on your phone. And then leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know anything that we missed. But anyways, people, thank you again, once again, for joining us on an episode of Hockeytown University. Till then, on Sunday, go Red Wings. See y'all then. Love ya. Bye, Granny.
Night, Granny. Night, Nanny.